Pickles.
How did you move back?
A little bit, yeah. It was fun. We had a good time.
Doug, Carson participated in individual drills, just had his hat on and just watched all the team drills. And he talked before about you guys not wanting to put in, you wanting to have a controlled environment. Does that qualify as a controlled environment? Those
individual drills?
Well, no. Well, yeah.
Individuals controlled, yeah.
Okay. And what about the 10-10-10?
Well, that's not controlled. The situation's controlled, but the actions are not. At the snap. So, yeah, no, it's just still part of the plan, and not gonna subject him to that right now.
You just talked about everybody having that. You just talked about everybody having that fun out there with the kick. And how well has this group the last years been able to balance that fun and that business approach when they really needed to get down to business?
I think they've handled it extremely well. Obviously, started last season with some of the the fun bunch groups after the celebrations and things like that after touchdowns and things of that nature. And you know what? It's just we spend a lot of time together here in training camp during the regular seasons, coaches and players, and I try to make the environment fun for them, for the coaches. We're still going to get our work done. When it's time when the whistle blows, we get our work done. But I still want them to remember this is a game, and let's have fun. Let's have fun doing it and enjoying it while we can.
Follow up on Carson. A follow-up on Carson. Is he going to do team drills before he's cleared, or at this point do you need to wait until he's cleared for contact?
You talking about full contact? Yeah. Listen, when I get to that bridge, I'll make a decision. Right now we are where we are with him. Not going to subject him to any more. What I saw again last week ago, is good enough right now at this time. Now, whenever that day comes, we'll cross that bridge when that day comes. Yeah.
But going forward here, we should expect to see what we've seen until he's cleared.
From a medical standpoint, yes. Yes.
So, but this was all part of the pain. He did not suffer any sort of
no setbacks. Not at all. Nothing. And nothing.
You see where, they're usually in a rehab. There's you ramp up, and there's steady progression. Well, he got to a certain point, and now he's going backwards in terms of what he's actually doing.
What you see out here is considered backwards. What we see in the building and what he does with our strength conditioning staff is still progressive. So it doesn't have to be every snap, every football situation for him to go forward. You know what I mean? What you see out here is only one small sort of tidbit of what he's doing collectively inside this building too. Yeah.
Is it a question of, we put him in team drills and there was traffic around him and we just don't need that, and that's why the team's
part of it. That's what we saw last week. We were out here for a couple of days when he was there, and right now is not the time to risk that. So again, it's all part of our plan, part of his progression, and he's doing an outstanding job.
At what point do you have to worry about rust with him? Because if he is going to play week one, whenever it is, I'd imagine you want to see him with the team in drills more.
Well, listen, you saw how, at the end of the year, Nick Foles, he missed all of camp, regular season, played extremely well. Took some time, but played extremely well. Carson's out here working his tail off every single day. He's throwing individual routes. There's going to come a time when we game plan, and we're game plan specific, and he gets a chance to be in there, then we work. But right now, 7-on-7 and the things that we're doing with the starters and Carson and all that is preparing him for that day we cross that bridge.
What's all this meant for Nate now and all the extra reps he's getting?
Say that again?
What has all this meant for Nate? So
I think it's great for Nate. A great opportunity for him to really show what he can do, solidify himself in this league as a quarterback, obviously a backup on our roster. But the more time he gets under center, the more experience he's going to gain. These games are going to be valuable for him, and he's one of the players I'm excited to watch.
Since Danny Sproles returned kickoffs, what have you seen from him so far in camp, and how do you think the new rules are advantageous for him?
Well, I think it's he's used to obviously catching the ball a little easier than catching a punt, obviously, but I think with the new rules, more guys towards the ball, and obviously the kick cover units being a yard from the ball allows for probably a little more space. However, you saw the game last night, and there wasn't a ton of huge returns, but at the same time, the kickers were able to just kick it out of the end zone and put the ball at the 25. So it's kind of based on what the opponent's going to do that week, game plan against a guy like Darren Sproles.
No Zach Ertz at practice today. Why was that?
Just a rest day for him, yeah.
Speaking of you and the organization to see Brian Dawkins is trying to carry.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I'm so happy for him and his family, and well-deserving, obviously. He's a tremendous Philadelphia Eagle. Not only represents this organization, but represents this city and the mentality of this city. And I'm just so happy for him and excited to watch his speech. It's going to be very passionate and energetic, and just like the way he played. So it's a great honor.
How special is the timing of Doc going into the Hall of Fame tomorrow? I mean, he found out the night before the Eagles win their first Super Bowl, and he's going in, weeks before the defense of a Super Bowl championship. How special is the timing of that, Doc?
I can't speak for Brian, but I would be beside myself if it was me. Having found the news out the week his former team, the Philadelphia Eagles, they win the Super Bowl that week, and then get a chance to get into the Hall of Fame. It would just be, it's a great year. It's a great year for him and his family, and just excited for not only for the Eagles but for Brian Dawkins.
Doug, can you update us on the injuries to Sweat and Richard Rodgers? Like, they weren't out at practice today.
Yeah, both those guys had just small nagging. Josh is still lower body and Richard's an upper body, and I just wanted to give them a couple days. We got today, tomorrow, the players are off, and then we got the night practice at the link. So just give them the extra time to build for Sunday night, but obviously want them available for the first preseason game too.
Just rounding back to Carson real quick. Why didn't he practice today?
Well, like I've been saying all along, it's 11 on 11, out here, and we've taken him out of those drills. So this was 11 on 11 today.
During the 2-minute drills, there was a lot of jet motion, orbit motion. Is there extra value from getting that pre-snap motion during those hurry-up plays?
There are, but those were against our defense. So offense was kind of servicing the defense, and that's what the defense wanted to see in that period. A practice like today is more about when the defense is up, our starters, the offense has a set of plays that the defense wants to get accomplished, and vice versa. So when the offense is working, we want to set up defensive plays to work against our offense, and vice versa. So they're servicing each other. So that was a situation that Jim wanted. A lot of jet sweeps in this league, and just want to be prepared for everything.
Yeah, Boucher Hill, trying to win that weak side linebacker job. Is it hard if you've been kind of pigeonholed as a special teams guy to show the coaches that you can do more?
Well, in his case, he's obviously a tremendous four-core special teams guy for us. That role is going to, stay the same for him. He's very valuable there. And he's really done, his weight has gone up this off season, this training camp. So he's a guy that we can kind of plug and play in that weak side linebacker position. He's done an outstanding job there right now. Again, these games are going to be valuable for him, gaining experience and playing, and giving us depth at that spot. I think this is the first time that we've had this much depth at the linebacker spot since I've been here. He's definitely part of that mix, and gives us some great competition there.
What's your comfort level with Cameron Johnston as your punter?
Extremely high. You watch him. He'll have 4 or 5 really good kicks. There will be one occasional one that'll go awry just a little bit, but that's all part of his plan too, and part of his progression. His progression with what we're asking him to do directionally. Right, left. Try to get him outside the numbers. It's all new, So he's learning that, and he's done a good job.
Doug, Carson's obviously a pro's pro, but how much disappointment, if any, do you sense from him that he's not being put in these full team drills 11 on 11s?
Support from him?
No, disappointment.
Oh, disappointment? I mean, listen, he's an athlete. He started, 13 games for us last year, and I'm sure he feels a little disappointed, but listen, it's part of the plan, I remember when I hurt my back in 2004. It sucks. You're not out there with your team. I get it. I understand. I've been through it. So I know what he's going through, but he's working every single day to get himself back on the field.
Speaking of the game last night, did you see how they called the helmet roll? As expected for you, and do you think that's changing?
Yeah, you know, it's about what to expect, I think, in these preseason games, and obviously they're going to be aware of it and be conscious of it, and you know, once we get into our game, obviously we keep talking to our players all the time and about contact and head up and eyes up and see what you hit and everything, and you know, I felt that, you know, the hits last night were warranted for flags and you know, subject to the penalty. So, you know, it's a great learning experience. It's now there's an NFL game that I can show these hits to our team, you know, coming up and continue to educate.
Take a couple more questions. Appears to keep practices light sometimes.
Light as in
have a little fun.
Attitude.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of
heck yeah.
What kind of contribution is that to the team? Bring that different element to it.
You know, there's really two. There's one, he brings an edge to that defense, you know, and you saw, you know, yesterday with some of the aggression with him and Richard Rodgers. I thought it was a great thing to see that aggression, but at the same time he's you know, he's sort of flamboyant, he's outgoing, and he's loose, and he plays that way, and that's what you got to have. You know, I talk about, you know, allowing these guys to let their personalities show. You've heard me say that before, and that's what you want. You know, you want these guys to be able to have fun and you know, doing what they do.
It's a new training staff, a new medical staff. Who's putting this plan together? Is it you? Is it
collaborative? Doctors, trainers, Howie, myself, Carson. The doctors. It's in their hands.
Do you reevaluate the plan every day, or is it several days?
No, we don't evaluate it every day. We have benchmarks. I'm not getting into the benchmarks, but we have benchmarks. We have milestones. We have goals. We have whatever you want to call it down the road. We need to get to point X and then another point X, but that's the plan.
We'll take one more question. Is point X week 1?
Point X will be point X. I'm not getting into that.
Okay, thanks guys.